So saying goodbye kind of sucks. It's pretty difficult. And I promise this video is not going to be full of bad vibes. It's not going to make you sad. And I really hope that you watch to the end because I think you might find it useful. When I first started shooting videos, I started shooting on my phone. And as I was transitioning out of shooting on my phone, I ended up buying David's Canon 60D off of him. Now, I am going to talk about cameras in this video, and don't worry, I'm not going to get too technical with it. So after buying David's camera, it lasted me about 4 or 5 months before it was time to get something new. Because at the time, the camera was like over a decade old, and I had just outgrown it, and it was time to step up the quality of what I wanted to make. So because I was looking into cameras so much, I had stumbled across what was Canon's #1 camera at the time, and I was like, I gotta have it. The only issue with this camera is that brand new it was around $6,000 or $7,000, and the cheapest you could get it used was maybe like $4,000 or $5,000. And I'm not made of money, so I probably was never getting it. And that camera was the Canon 1DX Mark II. I really loved that Canon 1DX Mark II. Like, I really wanted that camera. I knew that in my head, this is a checkpoint, and when I get this particular camera, it's gonna mean everything. And if you were friends with me and you shot too, you probably know I've talked to you about this camera and said how I was gonna get it one day. Yo.
Alright, yo. What's up, bro? What's going on, guys? My name is David K. I am a photographer for Kontent.
So, before we had the 1DX, what did you think about that camera?
Man, it was like, I was obsessively just binging content. Like, yo, this is going to be my dream rig. This is going to be my daily, my everything. I was fanboying like crazy. The 1DX stole my heart, yo. When I first got it, I was like, wow, this is a big computer. Like, it's big, beautiful, sturdy, tough slab of metal and plastic with an interface more complex than anything I've worked with in a long time. And I was like, all right, well, this might just be a little bit of a learning curve to this. Like, maybe there's something I'm missing because I'm not exactly getting what I wanted from, what I was seeing so far. It was bittersweet. It was bittersweet. The excitement was there still.
Okay, what do you think? Initial reaction, you're holding it.
I thought this day would never come.
It's a monster.
What was the battery on?
It was at like 48 the last time I checked it. Well, I have the charger. Let's go see if we can charge it real quick.
Yeah.
Let's go to a Starbucks.
But, it's like, what's going on? Is there a gap? Is there a learning curve or whatever?
It was that checkpoint camera that represented okay, I made it.
Yeah. So it was a real lesson in attenuating your expectations. Expectation does not always meet reality, but at the same time, that was a huge investment. But also, you work with what you have to make things work. And despite all the flaws that we brought up the camera, I go back and look at some of my work, and I'm like, I still managed to pull this off despite that. I still have shots that I'm proud of from it. The world don't stop just because things don't go exactly the way that you plan. So you need to be flexible and nimble and be able to adjust your plan on the fly.
Which really cracked me up is when we were shooting with Chance the other day. You were like, you know what I'm gonna miss? The 1DX. It's funny because he spent most of the time not liking the camera, which I don't blame you. And then you went on to take 2 portraits of me. Those last 2 portraits with the 1DX before it was sold. What in the last moments made you miss the camera?
On one hand, it was the most beautiful thing, and I'm like, this is going to launch us content up here. In the same way, I'm like, I hate this thing. Why wasn't it what I ordered? So I'm nostalgic for it for that first reason, and it ends up kind of being allegorical in a way, my feelings for it, because we got that top of 2020 or midway through.
It was close to 2020. Yeah,
it was close to 2020, right? So we were talking so much about how everything we wanted to do for the business right before the pandemic, and then boom. So you've got a good parallel there, okay, expectation versus reality. And it gives me just a sense of nostalgia. It's in a way, I don't want to forget, where we came from, how much work it took to get there. And that moment, I felt nothing but nostalgia. And, it's always sad, as a photographer, you develop bonds with your cameras. So it's always sad to see one go. All right, bro. Well, it was cool catching up.
Yeah, for sure.
See you, I guess, when this comes in.
Yeah, bro. I'll see you Thursday.
All right, bro.
So anytime I shoot downtown Pittsburgh, I always post up in this garage right here. And it's pretty cheap in the evening, which is convenient. And it's like really easy to walk to if I need to go back and get some gear or grab something out of my backpack if I don't take it with me. So just in case I didn't put any B-roll clips of me driving between my house and downtown, that's all I got here. So I'm currently on my way to Premier Imaging, which is a camera store in North Hills, and I'm about to sell quite a few pieces of camera gear. 2 lenses, 2 cameras, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm sad to see this equipment go, but it's for a good reason. Dude, I cannot believe I'm getting ready to sell my favorite lens. This better be worth it. So, quick update, this is actually a few days after I had just sold the camera gear. I got the check and I went to the bank that Saturday, and they told me I wouldn't have access to the money until today, which is Tuesday. So I just went to the ATM to make a quick deposit, and now I am about to go in the house and purchase this camera, and I can't wait. So I was just notified that my package showed up. There it is. So like I said before, saying goodbye is difficult. Oh, this is crazy. Wow. But it makes room to try something new.